Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of P.I.P, People in Property. You'll notice that today, rather than one guest, I've got two. It's not a facade, it's not a double whammy. Well, it is a double whammy. We've got Gavin and Mitch, also known as the Property Twins. Now, these guys are actually quite new to the property industry, have been in property for a few years now, but they're making waves. They've travelled all the way down from Watford to be with us here today, so thank you very much for coming down, guys. I know we couldn't make it happen 2 weeks ago or whenever it was we were supposed to previously record because you guys were literally on the brink of getting the Daily Grind launched. And for you guys that don't know, for everyone who doesn't know, the Daily Grind is a coffee shop. So do you want to plug that quickly and then we'll get onto the property stuff?
Yeah, so the Daily Grind, where our office is in Watford, there was no good coffee shops down the road. So we just thought, if no one else can do it, let's just do it ourselves. Yeah. We partnered with our mate Prebz, he owns a restaurant in town. So we, with the property side, found the property. Prebz bought the hospitality and we started the Daily Grind.
Awesome.
Named it. Obviously, you're grinding the coffee, and we just grind every single day. That's why we couldn't come last time.
Makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. I like the name of it because, as you said, you're always on the grind, and coffee's always it's being ground, and you're doing it daily, and people tend to drink coffee daily, so it's quite a catchy kind of name.
I think most entrepreneurs, their businesses start in coffee shops, and that's where they're doing the proper grind. So it's a welcome development for people to come to and work from home as well.
Brilliant. Did you buy or rent the shop, by the way? Rent it. Nice. So, and it's funny because you guys do a lot of rent to rents and stuff like that as well, isn't it? So, talk to me. Well, before we get into your property background, if you like, and what you do in property, tell me about what you were doing before property.
Yeah. So our story's pretty much the same. Yeah. We both got kicked out of school when we were 17. Mitch ended up doing an interview for a recruitment firm in medical and healthcare. I couldn't find anything, so I was like, bro, I need something. So I joined, worked with him. Fast forward about a year, that was an apprenticeship, so I paid £3.50 an hour. Oh, really? So really not a lot of money, basically. No. It was commission, so it was the basic of £3.50 an hour plus 50p commission. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
when he said commission, I thought he was going to have some big commissions coming in there, but 50 pence commission isn't.
When the rules changed, when you left school, you had to be in full-time education till 18. So you had that year of college, apprenticeship, or what?
The crossover period, if you like.
Correct. Yeah. So we did that for a year. Mitch ended up travelling Southeast Asia. And
how did you find that, Mitch? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, this was great. I don't need to speak. I was going to tell you a story. So once I left England at 18. I went travelling in Southeast Asia for a year. Unbelievable experience. Worked in Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. Really good experience, and then I moved to Australia.
Right. What was you doing as for work whilst you was in Asia?
In Thailand, I worked in a dog sanctuary restaurant, street dogs.
Okay.
Vietnam, I worked in a bar and a hostel. Laos, I worked in a rehab centre for horses.
Okay.
Just things that come up. Nothing was planned. Yeah. It's like I booked one day as and when it come.
Okay.
So if I liked the area, I'd extend for another week or 2 weeks. If I really didn't like it, I'd just move on. So I didn't have any time.
And you were staying in a hostel, was you, or like Airbnb style type?
Yeah, mixtures.
Okay, nice.
Well, the Airbnbs over Bali, for instance, unbelievable. But yeah, that was my journey around Asia. Just under a year, and then moved to Australia. Ran out of money. I needed to do work, but I didn't want to stop travelling.
Okay.
Went to Australia. Landed in Sydney. Forgot to book somewhere to stay, so I ended up in a shared house. Okay. And that was probably the best thing, like an HMO over in Sydney.
Okay.
Best thing, met loads of different backpackers, and just found like moving to Sydney a lot easier because you're meeting people with the same experience, or they're just like a few months ahead of you.
Okay.
Ended up doing direct sales there, so commission only, no salary.
But higher commission than 50 pence, right?
Yeah. Good money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Good money. First week, I made like $2.5 grand now. So
I'm brilliant.
Perfume in shopping centres.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so that was my first job.
First taste of real money.
Yeah. First taste of proper sales as well. Yeah. You do need thick skin, and direct sales out on the streets, door to door, shopping centres, petrol stations. I think that's where you're going to learn commission only. Yeah. That's kind of what changed my mindset over in Australia.
Nice. And what period did you leave Australia? How long was you there for?
4 years.
4 years you stayed there. That's quite a long time.
4 years, and then Gav came out.
Oh, I was going to say, what was you doing while he was in Australia? What was you doing?
So I stayed in the recruitment firm for about another 5-6 months.
Okay.
My older brother went travelling as well and ended up in Australia, so did Mitch.
Okay.
So I was just at home, money wasn't great, all my mates went to uni, so I was just by myself.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I'll just go on a 3-month holiday. I'll go to Melbourne where my older brother was for a month, Sydney for a month, travel for a month.
Okay.
And when I got to Sydney, I ended up seeing how much Mitch was making, hanging out with his mates that he's built up in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And then my journey ended up staying there, getting into the same industry, direct sales, and I stayed there for 4 years.
So you both stayed there for 4 years from there, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Since I got there, I ended up staying, yeah.
And you obviously from there, from what I understand, you sounds like that's where you built your catch pot, if you like.
Yeah.
That's where I got the foundations and knowledge as well. In business.
It really taught us the fundamentals of sales.
Okay.
And getting your mindset straight.
Right.
Because I feel like in business, mindset is key.
Right.
A strong mindset.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more, to be honest with you, because in business you have peaks and troughs, you come across hurdles, and if you don't have a strong mindset, then you just want to constantly keep packing it in, and then if you constantly keep packing something in, you're never going to build momentum and get anywhere, you know. It's like you're sort of setting yourself up to fail as such if you don't sort of have the mindset and the heart to carry on.
Everyone has the downhills.
Yeah, of course.
COVID wiped out a lot of people, and then when I was speaking to the sales guys I was working with, how could you use the mask as an analogy for sales? And the mask, we broke it down to the mindset, attitude, skill set, and knowledge.
Okay.
And if you were having a bad day in sales or in general, we would work out, well, make sure you're always wearing your mask. That's what you were told the whole way through. Yeah. So where are you falling short? And that's the area you need to nail. So for the sales throughout COVID sector and like lockdown, unbelievable, because that's what we made sure we nailed.
Awesome. So why did you leave Australia after that? Like, did you guys have enough, or what was a pivotal point from there? Because it sounded like you're making good money.
Yeah. There's a lot of visas, jumping through hoops and getting different visas. We end up both being sponsored at the end of it. But in the direct sales industry, you can only get to where you get to.
Right.
And it's either we could have started our own company in Australia, but still doing the same day-to-day activities. Okay. But 4 years of standing up every single day, grafting from morning to night, trading teams, people, leave, retention. Yeah. It did get a lot. Okay. And I always wanted to start my own business, but I didn't know if that was the right thing for me to progress and start. So that's why I came back, the visas. And when I got back, I had a clean slate. So when I went to Australia, it was only a 3-month holiday.
Yeah. So you ended up there 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. When I came back, I put myself back in that broke mindset. Yeah. I was like, if I can move to the other side of the world with no money and build up a big career and make money,
I can do that here.
I can do that again.
Yeah, where I'm from originally, kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I knew that wherever I end up in the world, I would be able to start from scratch. Yeah. And get myself to where I need to get to.
Was it the same for you as well, Mitch?
Yeah. The same story. Yeah. It was just a bit of a nightmare. It's always that glass ceiling, isn't it? You see other people succeeding, but your visa's holding you down. And coming back to the UK, like the world's your oyster. So I thought, if I come back and I start a business here or start a few businesses here, Australia's not moving.
Yeah, you can always go back potentially.
Yeah, once that's all systemised and we're doing well here, you can go to Australia in 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time. You can move out there and think still run in the UK. So that's why I came back.
So, lads, where does property fall into this? Because you weren't doing anything property related in Australia.
Yeah. Sales in general, I've learned to sell products and services for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And it's like, what's a high ticket item? And we were writing down all these ideas of what can we sell. In Australia, like selling boats was one of the big ticket items, but that's their culture. Okay. So coming over here, it's like, well, what's still high ticket, but we can get our hands on. And we just looked at property as the new product. Okay. For anything, you need to learn the property, like the product knowledge. Yep. Yeah, and that's all you need to know. What's the features, what's the benefits. As long as you can speak to people, and understand sales, you will be able to sell anything. Of course. So we looked at property as that product. So a lot of education and deep diving into property. There's obviously plus all the legals and everything.
For sure.
It got to a point where I was doing my daily sales. I started at 9, and I was finishing my like people what people would achieve in a day, I was doing it in an hour.
Okay.
And because it was commission only, I could have that flexibility of going home.
Brilliant.
So I already made what I made, so I was only working 9 to 10 every day.
Was it when you came back to the UK?
No,
in Australia.
I was leaving Australia. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I started looking. I basically just reviewed my last 4 years and realised that I needed a business because London's expensive. I needed a mentor. I needed something that paid me monthly. They were my 3 goals when I came back. So when I was only working now and I had the whole day free. I was going to the gym, eating. It was still 12 o'clock.
Oh, brilliant!
I just had loads of time to do what I needed to do, and I came across videos and podcasts about rent to rent. So I was watching that by myself at home, and then Mitch would get back from work, and when he came back, there was a video, and he was like, "What are you watching?" I was like, "Honestly, I have no idea what this guy started with nothing, and now he's got a lot of money." So I made him sit down and watch it, and then we came back, and I was like, "Well, rent to rents."
Yeah, because it seems like you had the entrepreneurial flair when you was out there. You was trying to just figure out where you wanted to sell, but what we were going to sell. You mentioned the high ticket items, and then you obviously stumbled across the rent to rent. So then you watched the videos, you came back, and then it sounds like it started from there.
Yeah, came back straight into rent to rent because we had money saved up, and we wanted to that broke mindset and see what we can do from nothing.
Yeah.
And rent to rent's a great opportunity to get into the market without spending a lot of money. So that's the strategy we started on. We secured our first. We opened the company and we got a property straight away, pretty much within a week. And then a week after that, we secured another property.
And what kind of size properties were you going for? Were like 1-beds, flats, or like 3-bed houses?
Started small.
Yeah.
Just one to practice with. So it was a 1-bed flat in Cricklewood, North London.
Okay.
And then we moved to a 2-bed in Hertfordshire. And then from there we were just fluctuating between 1 and 2 beds, and then we took on a 5-bed house.
Right. Sorry, these ones that you're taking on yourselves and running as SA, or you're selling the deals on?
These are ourselves for the
yourself.
time being, yeah.
Okay.
So we started with the rent to rents, just taking them on ourselves, so we understand the process.
Okay.
I've always thought if I wanted to get into deal sourcing, which we're doing at the moment, I really need to understand the whole strategy. Yeah. Because if someone calls me up and asks me a question, I need to be able to answer them and educate them.
Know what you're talking about, really, isn't it? And know what you're selling.
Yeah.
So essentially, sounds good. And did you do any courses, or obviously I know you watched the YouTube videos and stuff, but did you do any courses or any other type of learning before you took on your first rent to rent?
Yeah, we've done quite a few. I think we're probably up to about 4. The thing is, I like to learn from different people and see what I can learn from you and
take the best out of everyone, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've done quite a few networks. Well, we network a lot. We basically get to a room, because we look the same, everyone gets confused. I shoot on the right, Mitch shoots around the left. Yeah,
and then you converse in the middle.
We're like, well, I got that side of the room, and then we leave.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Catch up with everyone. But it's a selling point for us because it's easier to network. Because then I exploit you, and no, it was Mitch. Well, then we build that conversation. Yeah. And just dig into what Mitch didn't pick up, and then I just fill in the gaps.
That's awesome.
So until someone comes over to me and tries to finish a conversation, I have no idea.
Sorry, mate, I need to stop you there. That was my twin brother. Oh, you're having a laugh. No, that's him over there.
Literally. Happens all the time.
Yeah. But I suppose there's a benefit to having, a twin brother as well. No.
Yeah, our skill set's near enough the same. Yeah, we complement each other's work.
Yeah.
So I'll focus on a few sections of the business, but Gav's some more competence in like finance and we IT kind of jobs.
Yeah.
So that's where we work hand in hand. So there's nothing that's overlooked. That's something we work together. We overlook everything together.
Okay.
And it's
I'll overlook his side. He'll overlook mine.
And you'll be able to say, all right, you kind of missed this, or actually that's pretty good.
I'll check his blind spots, he'll check mine, and together we can just help.
And you drives as well, innit?
Yeah.
Like, because we both got the same mentality towards succeeding and becoming the best version of ourselves. Once that's together,
do you ever butt heads?
Yeah, we do. It's not like a full-blown argument. It's more,
I say something, he says something, and we'll just...
It's more like a disagreement of saying, what's the best way out of this? To be fair, that's good. The reason I'm asking is because if you get on, and if you agree with everything, then there might be, you're missing something, because like you might spot something that you could, Mitch might spot something that Gavin could have done, and Gavin might spot something that Mitch could have done, or you both might find an element of the business that is maybe not working as well it could be, and all you need to do is add a further cog to make them all the cogs turn better. And if you're not sort of like questioning each other a little bit, then You know, it could get a bit boring as well, no?
We do row every now and again, but that's it. It's basically whoever wins the argument. It's how we go with their decision. So if we've got completely different opinions, and if I win, which is usually the case, but we'll end up going with my decision, just because it's the most logical sense after half an hour
of just talking about it. Yeah. Makes sense.
It just means there's more logic behind it.
And do you guys do everything together, like all the businesses together, or do you have any external people? I know you mentioned you've got the other chap who's got a restaurant, I think, that's done daily grind, but with regards to property...
on the sourcing side... so we've got the Property Twins is the sourcing company.
Okay.
We got 2 guys working with us there.
Okay. And they're not partners; they're just like employees as such. Yeah. Work with you. Oh, awesome. And you obviously opened an office as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How's that going?
Going really well. Yeah. It's built up a lot of credibility within the town. Because normally when you're hitting the phones, it's just a phone call.
Yeah.
But now we can invite people to the office or the coffee shop now.
Come for a coffee at the office. We'll grab the coffees from the coffee shop and
the office has moved to the coffee shop.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, if you can have meetings there, mate, why not?
But credibility, getting people down, investors come down, landlords, agents, people walking down the street stop. We throw events at the office. We didn't really need it for what you've got. You need a team out there. We just needed it for our management of our own.
Yeah, your portfolio that you have. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you just need a portfolio. A team to manage the portfolio.
Yeah, and rather than getting them from working from home, we have that sort of like camaraderie going on in the office and sort of somewhere to be and
as we said,
and branding, really getting the branding out as well.
It's branding, it's bouncing off each other, it's teamwork, it's understanding what's going on in the background, so I can hear the voice phone calls as well. So if they've got any questions, they can jump the phone call mute, quickly ask me, so then we can overturn objections quicker together. It works wonders.
Brilliant. Because I don't know a lot of sources, to be honest. Service accommodation people and sources that have an office. To be fair, they all sort of like work from home, or maybe have, one of those service offices that's like a month-to-month rolling contract. But you guys got like a fully fledged like high street presence.
Walk in and ask what you do. It's like our answer is everything that's not traditional sales and letters.
Yeah, and they're probably like, "What's that? Tell me more."
Like down to the letting side, we need the letters to come in, or the landlord's inquiry, so then we can get the rent-to-rents on board and then pass them over to investors and sell them. Brilliant. It works. It does really well.
So taking it back a little bit now, obviously you took that first one in quick order, I think you said, and then you took a further one on and then where did you take it from there? How did it all grow and become this sort of big brand?
So we were living together at the time when we got the first couple of rent-to-rents, and it was just got to December and we both just got really ill. So we couldn't go out and do the viewings and negotiate the deals. So we either stopped business and made no money coming into Christmas and into New Year, or we pivot and we need to start making money. So we ended up...
Is that where the sourcing came in?
Correct, yeah. So we had those 2 and we just secured 2 more for ourselves, for Hampstead, Hertfordshire.
Okay.
But they weren't available until the January.
Okay.
The year after. So it was a brand new block. There's about 15 units in there.
Oh wow, nice. So what, you secured the whole block, or as in 2 in the block?
We secured 2 for ourselves.
Okay.
But it was a brand new build.
Okay.
So I knew what every single flat looked like.
Right.
I know the numbers were because I was taking on 2 myself.
Yeah.
So we packaged and sold the whole block individually.
Oh wow, fabulous.
So for at home.
Fabulous.
That's how we kind of got into deal selling.
Yeah.
Because literally within a week.
When you do a whole block, do you not find that the block becomes a bit saturated, or the area? And is there are there enough people coming to stay to be able to do the whole building?
Depends on the area, but Hertfordshire, you get tourists because there's small little things like Watford, your Outport Studios, people fly in just for that. There's a lot of industrial estates where workers come, big headquarter offices like Tesco headquarters there. So you get people coming over from Asia on the Tesco brand, on the clothing brand. They come over. There's loads of different hotspots. So you know the area inside out.
So you know your niche basically in that area. So
I've always looked at it. I had a conversation with someone recently about Brighton. They were like, it's so saturated. There's so many Airbnbs. But if you're getting, I don't know, throughout the summer, how many people go to Brighton? Millions of people.
Yeah.
An extra 10 flats to accommodate millions of people that go to the beach for holidays. It's not really saturated. If every street on every property on the street was an Airbnb and you half the amount of tourists, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's only the population's only growing.
Yeah.
And the houses aren't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, you can't build. Yeah, if there's no land to build on, then yeah, that makes sense. But there's coming back to that point though. Like summer's not very long here, you know, in the UK. So if they're just reliant on that summer period, what about the rest?
Brighton,
yeah, for Brighton,
we've changed a lot of our marketing as well to long-term marketing.
Okay.
So a lot of the stays with
so like
30-night minimum.
Yeah, 4 weeks. I would say.
Yeah,
It'll be a 30 nights, but yeah. Same.
So it's more your mid-term. So 30-night minimum. So we're focusing on relocators.
Okay.
Working professionals that are coming to
Right.
the area.
They're trying to settle, then they'll probably end up extending for another 30 days or 2 weeks potentially or something like that.
Even like Cricklewood, we've had it for a while now.
Yeah.
And we've just got a long-term booking there for a year, but 5 months at a time, or even on a monthly rolling contract. Yeah. And they're just keep on going for the whole
But how did you find your transition to going from, you know, having 3-night minimum stay to a 30-night minimum stay? Because you might have 3 nights darted across the month every 5 days or 6 days, for example, and then all of a sudden you want to do your 30-day strategy. How would you advise someone looking to do that to attack that and get the longer term stays?
Yeah, when we started, we started on a 3-night and then tried out 7, tried out 14, then tried out 30. But you need to play around with your listings. We do have 2 listings.
Dual listings, yeah.
So one for short term and the other one's for your medium and long term, where you have to block the calendar and put it in like request only.
Okay.
So you have a 1-night stay for next month. Where if I search for 30 days, nothing's going to come up.
No, of course.
We've got 1 day jeopardising the whole month.
Literally.
So one just needs to be a clean, blank calendar.
Do the portals not disallow having the same listing, or do you have to use like different photos and stuff like that?
That was the photos.
Yeah, because they'll be like, what, same address twice? Something fishy going on here?
Yeah. A lot of properties are in blocks.
Yeah, so they could be similar.
Yeah.
But they're not going to have identical furniture, let's be honest. Unless the developer went and furnished the whole block with the same thing, and then you could try and... You could argue...
Showrooms.
Yeah.
Also, the price tabs is very good for that strategy.
Yeah. Tells you what each location has price-wise.
There's different tools where I can set, if you're booking for longer than 14 days away, within the next 14 days you can only book for 3 days. If it's past 2 weeks from today, then it has to be a minimum of 14 days or 7 days or whatever.
I'm with you.
So, and then if a week goes past, the calendar will extend. It will start filling up the closer dates with shorter stays, and the further away dates with longer stays.
Yeah.
So that way you can merge all your calendars.
Does it adjust your pricing as well? I think your nightly rate gets adjusted
so
as well, isn't it?
It picks up all the
average prices, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Does it work for you? Price tabs? I've had different feedback basically, hence why I'm asking.
It does, but because we've been doing it for a while now, you kind of just build up your own database of guests. Yeah. And if you're good at building a relationship with your guests and retaining them and getting them back, to be honest, I don't really use price tabs anymore, but when you're starting out, it is good just so you can test out the market and use it as comparables. But I mean, we've got 11 units and all of them are fully booked for 6 to 12 months.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And then you can focus on other things, of course. Yeah. Now, what would you say, advice-wise, for someone that wants to get the repeat booking and the direct bookings? How would you suggest they build the rapport, like you say, and get the direct bookings?
Yeah, when they say you were checking in today, we'll do a call just to see if you checked in okay, if you have any questions. Yeah. And just your normal, did you get there okay?
Yeah. Did you find it all right? Did you get in all right? Are you happy? Kind of thing.
Yeah, just checking in.
Yeah.
During this day, we'll do another call. Hey, how's the first few days? Did you need anything? Just making sure everything's all good. So you're building that relationship. You're finding out why they're there, how they work, or you're working on Harry Forest Studio. Well, I saw something online. How's that doing? Yeah. And then when they leave, day after, then you get feedback. Yeah. If they say everything was amazing, oh, you came down for this. What's the likelihood of you coming back in the next month or 2 months or whatever? Save my number, give you a discount.
Brilliant. So
it's more of that, just checking in with the guests and making sure they do have a good stay rather than thanks for paying me, stay there for a week.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense. So where do you see yourself? Obviously, you guys have sort of grown in a very short space of time, very quickly. I can see that you're still both quite driven. Yeah. Obviously, if you wasn't, you wouldn't be opening the other business as well with the coffee shop. Where do you want to take the property element of things? Because you do both the sourcing and the rent to rents, right? And there's rent. remember speaking before the podcast started, you do rent to SA, but also I think you do rent to TA.
So temporary accommodation and social housing.
Brilliant.
That started December last year.
Okay.
And since then it's been going really, really well.
Yeah.
But that's from the presence of the office.
Yeah.
And having councillors walking in. And people from the councils, and like just building that face-to-face and the credibility by being on the high street. Since we did that,
Are there many agents around where you are at the moment, or not really?
Normal estate agents.
Yes,
there's one on the high street.
Okay, so that's not too much, not too many. Yeah, so and they're probably adverse to doing the TA side of things, aren't they?
They definitely.
Yeah,
they would do company that side.
They're missing the trick, really, to be honest, aren't they? They should really come together with you guys.
People walk in and ask for one-bed flats. Yeah. We refer to them. Any short-term guests they have, they refer to
you. So works hand in hand.
Yeah, we work with people.
Kind of makes sense, to be fair, and you can both grow, both be happy, and go from there. So where do you see yourself taking the business?
As soon as the coffee shop's fully set up and running, we're moving into BRRs. So looking for rundown properties, do a refurb, refinance. We've got a lease option agreement as well that we're kind of working out the end strategy.
Okay.
We've only had it since November.
Can you break down lease option? Because some of the guests, well, we have beginner people that are viewing and don't know what, obviously we discussed the yesterday, so I don't know what service accommodation is, but lease options, they may not have heard it a lot, so can you give them a lowdown of how a lease option would work?
Yeah, so a lease option is when you essentially you rent the property off of the landlord, but you agree the purchase price today, and then pay for it in X amount of years, so 5 years.
So we'll take a 5-year lease, for example. You'll have the price set from the beginning. Let's say, for example, I'm going to pay you $300,000 for this property, but I'm going to pay it to you in 5 years from now, 2029, for example. And then you rent it for that period of time, and then at the end, if you want to buy it, you buy it. You don't have to buy it, basically. It's an option.
Not the obligation, but then you're sitting on the cash flow for 5 years. So if you get a lease option, then rent it out of service accommodation. You'll make your higher returns and all like single let anyway. And then over the 5 years, if house prices don't work in 10 years, the capital appreciation, so you'll probably buy it for a lot cheaper than the market value.
Definitely.
If you get a good deal. Sometimes.
Well, I'm sure, mate, you guys are salesmen, so I'm sure you've been negotiating a good deal.
Ours is done. That's what we need to work on the strategy now. So yes, we want to move into BRRs, but we've also got this lease option we need to exercise.
Awesome. And did you say you've got one implemented already for the lease option?
So we've got it in November.
Okay.
It's a 2-bedroom detached bungalow.
Nice.
We agreed 188 purchase price, and we got it revalued last week at 240.
Okay. So you need to exercise that ASAP then, boys.
That's what we're kind of working out. Okay. What strategy do we want to exercise in?
We're speaking to some brokers to see if we can use the appreciation, so it's like 52 grand
to buy it,
to use that as the down payment for the deposit. And that would be ideal.
There probably will be a lender out there, but you probably will find that the rates are going to be higher, or they're going to have certain clauses. Or
we're looking into like vendor gifting as well. So so the seller can gift us 10% or up to 10% in equity to use towards the deposit.
Right.
So there's different creative ways out there.
Definitely. Well, you know what they say, where there's a will, there's a way, hey? But no, that sounds good. So thank you guys for watching. If you like the episode, which I'm sure you have, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Leave us a comment also of who you'd like to see next on the podcast. Obviously, the more people we have subscribed, the bigger the guests can get as well. But yeah, thank you. No, scrap that. Let me start again. Can you start again? Ready? Yeah. Thank you guys for watching the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've also enjoyed the episode, drop us a comment of who you'd like to see next, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you for watching.
I just need to get some photos.